population in the Gaza Strip and bears the international community responsible to stop the war and begin this implementation of the United Nations decisions towards the Palestinian cause to establish the independent state of Palestine with East Jerusalem as its capital. He added that the Sultanate of Oman supports the international and regional efforts that aim to stop the war immediately and to protect civilians, as well as to ensure that humanitarian aid reaches the people of Gaza. During the summit, His Highness Sayyid Shihab bin Tariq Al Saeed was accompanied by His Excellency Sayyid Badr bin Hamad Al Busaidi, Foreign Minister, His Excellency Dr. Saeed bin Mohammed Al Saqri, Minister of Economy, and His Excellency Abdullah bin Nasser Al Rahbi, Sultanate of Oman's ambassador accredited to the Arab Republic of Egypt and its permanent representative to the Arab League. The Cairo Peace Summit, which started today in the Arab Republic of Egypt, discussed the developments and the future of the Palestinian cause and peace process. The summit witnessed a participation from a number of Arab countries and the representatives as well as international organizations to discuss the ongoing Israeli aggression against the Palestinian people and unify efforts to bring peace and stability to the region and especially the Gaza Strip. The summit came to address the ongoing bombardment by the Israeli occupation forces on the Gaza Strip that destroyed neighborhoods and infrastructure, in addition to killing of innocent civilians and children and causing misery to the Palestinian families. The summit also reviewed ways of delivering humanitarian aid to the people in Gaza, as well as for the international community to take responsibility towards the ongoing Israeli aggression and its plans of forced displacement against the Palestinian people. The Civil Aviation Authority issued Alert Number 3, which stated that the latest satellite images and analysis from the National Center for Early Warnings of Multiple Hazards indicate the system will continue as a tropical storm located southwest of the Arabian Sea. The landfall of the tropical storm is expected to be on Tuesday morning between the Dhofar Governorate and Yemen's Al Mahra Governorate. Tropical Storm Tej is now located at approximately 16.6 degrees north latitude and 54.56 degrees east longitude. It is about 755 kilometers away from the coast of Oman. The wind speed around the center ranges from 34 to 63 knots, and the nearest rainy cloud mass is located about 450 kilometers away from the wilaya of Sadah. The prediction of the tropical storm will continue to move west-north-westward towards the coasts of the Dhofar Governorate and Yemen's Al Mahra Governorate. It is expected to intensify into a Category 1 tropical cyclone within the next 24 hours. The direct impact is expected to begin on the Dhofar and Al Wusta tomorrow evening. The basic services sector of the National Committee for Emergency Management held its first coordination meeting to follow up to preparations for Tropical Storm Tej. During the meeting, the most prominent preparations made by the main sectors of the committee were reviewed, and the sectors were directed to activate emergency response plans, potential risk management, and the mechanism to be followed in case of an impact. The readiness of all sectors and the precautionary measures that were taken to avoid damages were also noted, in addition to providing supplies to ensure business continuity, including spare parts, fuel, water, mobile backpack generators, pumps, and all materials necessary for the continuation of basic services. The National Center for Emergency Management also held its first meeting to review the developments of the tropical system that its impact on the governorate of Dhofar and Al Wusta. It also reviewed the extent of the readiness of the basic sectors and the mechanism for dealing with them to mitigate the effects of the tropical storm. The relief and shelter sector at the National Center for Emergency Management confirmed that 30 shelter centers were prepared, distributed across the various states of the Dhofar Governorate, and supplied with the necessary food supplies to sustain the situation in a normal manner during the tropical system, and 3 of them were activated in the Al Jazir Wilaya in Al Wusta Governorate. The Civil Defense and Ambulance Authority confirmed its readiness to deal with the tropical system Tej and placed its departments and centers at the level of the Dhofar and Al Wusta Governorates on alert and prepared the appropriate capabilities in order to deal with the effects that may result from the tropical system. The 2 governorates were also reinforced with numbers of manpower and vehicles designated for certain rescue operations, a group of boats and jet skis, and a lot of equipment and supplies, in addition to the deployment of 5 advanced checkpoints in the Dhofar Governorate and 3 checkpoints in the Al Wusta Governorate to ensure that rescue teams reach the areas expected to be affected. The Ministry of Education issued a statement regarding the suspension of studies in schools in the Dhofar Governorate due to the weather forecast for the next few days. In its statement, the ministry decided to suspend studies on Sunday, October 22nd and Monday, October 23rd in public and private schools. Studies will resume on Tuesday, October 24th. Studies will also be suspended in Dhofar University, Salalah Vocational College, and private training institutions on the aforementioned dates. The Ministry of Commerce, Industry and Investment Promotion confirmed availability of all consumer goods and foodstuff in local markets and stores for long periods. The ministry confirmed that petroleum products and their derivatives are available in all governorates and wilayas of the Sultanate of Oman, noting that companies have been directed to enhance the stocks of fuel and cooking gas in the Dhofar and Al Wusta governorates to ensure the continuity of fuel filling station services in various exceptional circumstances. Omani voters outside the Sultanate of Oman will cast their votes tomorrow, Sunday, to choose who will represent them for membership in the Shura Council for the 10th term via the Intikhab application starting at 8 in the morning and until 7 in the evening, Sultanate of Oman time. The Ministry of Interior stated that the voter must ensure that his name is registered in the electoral register, download the new version of the application, and must have an original ID card and a smartphone to be able to cast his vote. The electoral process witnessed the launch of the second version of the Intikhab application, which is characterized by an easy and simple user interface and a high level of security using the latest technologies in the field of encryption. The Royal Oman Police, represented in the General Administration for Combating Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substances in cooperation with the Directorate General for Combating Drugs in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, arrested an international network that smuggles drugs and psychotropic substances. This came after monitoring operations that resulted in seizing more than 1 million tablets of Captagon. Through investigations, the Royal Oman Police was able to detect the drugs were being smuggled through one of the seaports while being hidden inside home furniture that are prepared by the gangs within the network to be later smuggled to the neighboring countries. "20 trucks with humanitarian aid, including medicine, medical supplies, and a limited amount of food and canned goods, entered the Rafah border, crossing the besieged Gaza Strip today for the first time since October 7th. Rafah is the main route in and out of the Gaza Strip that is not controlled by Israel, and the focus of efforts to deliver aid to Gaza 2.3 million residents. The UN has warned of humanitarian catastrophe in Gaza, where food has been running out and supplies of fuel needed to keep hospital backup generators running have reached dangerously low levels. Meanwhile, about 25 Palestinians were murdered today in Gaza Strip due to the Israeli occupation's raids. 2 weeks following the state of the Israeli aggression on Gaza, the death toll rose to about 4,400 martyrs. The number of the wounded exceeds 13,000 and 400 Palestinians are still missing. 84 Palestinians were also murdered in the West Bank. According to the media office in Gaza Strip, the Israeli aggression completely destroyed more than 14.2 thousand residences, in addition to 133,000 residential units that were partially destroyed. The Palestinian Red Crescent announced yesterday that they received a warning from the Israeli occupation forces to immediately evacuate Gaza's Al-Quds hospital, which currently houses over 400 patients and 12,000 displaced civilians. The Palestinian Red Crescent issued an urgent appeal to the international community, saying, "We call on the world to take immediate and urgent action to prevent a new massacre like the one that occurred on the Al-Ahli Baptist Hospital." A blast at Gaza's Al-Ahli Hospital on October 17th killed hundreds of Palestinians. The World Health Organization condemned Israel's demand of the evacuation of Al-Quds Hospital, saying that the hospital houses thousands of displaced civilians, most of which are children and women, in addition to healthcare providers, stressing on the need to respect the sanctity of healthcare places. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. The government of the Sultanate of Oman supports international and regional efforts to stop Israeli aggression, protect civilians, and ensure the delivery of humanitarian aid to the Gaza Strip. The tropical storm in the Arabian Sea continues moving towards the coasts of Dhofar Governorate and the Republic of Yemen. And Omani voters outside the Sultanate of Oman will cast their votes tomorrow to elect members of the Shura Council in its 10th term. With that, we come to the end of tonight's bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, it's good night and stay safe.